Hi everyone, this is Dr. Saiti, Team MDS Conquer. So let's have a quick revision of your pharmacology. So first let's note all the adverse drug reactions given as type A, type B, type C, D, E and F. So this is again quite important. So type A is augmented pharmacological effects, okay, which are dose dependent and they are predictable, like anti-hyperglycemic drug like sulfonylurea. So when we give anti-hyperglycemic drugs and if the dosage is much high, then it causes hypoglycemia, right? So this is predictable. Next, type B is bizarre effects or idiosyncrasy, which are dose independent and they are completely unpredictable, like the allergic reactions to penicillins. Next, type C, the chronic effects, which can example like on a chronic use of NSAIDs, there can peptic ulcer can occur, right? So that is chronic. D is delayed effects, which is teratogenicity caused by thalidomide. E is the end of treatment effects, that is withdrawal response to morphine, and F is the failure to therapy. So questions can be asked based on this chart as well. So have a look. So next, the differences between the first and the second order kinetics. So first order kinetics is a constant fraction of the drug that is eliminated per unit time. Okay, then constant amount of drug that is eliminated per unit time is zero order kinetics, whereas a fraction of the drug that is eliminated is a first order kinetics. And here the clearance remains constant. Here the clearance is more in the low concentration and less at high concentration. So the major differences you need to know, and again the half life here remains constant, whereas half life is less at low concentration and more at high concentration. So just have a look. And the drugs that have pure zero order kinetics is alcohol. So many times they can ask like that. So do have a look of this. Next, coming to the antibiotics, classification based on the mechanism of action. So those which inhibit the cell wall synthesis, that's the penicillin, cephalosporins, vancomycin, cycloserine, bacitracin, and those which inhibit the protein synthesis and impair the function of ribosomes are all this: aminoglycosides, tetracyclines, chloramphenicol, macrolides and lincomycin. Okay, so those with interfere with the transcription of the genetic material on the ribosomes are the quinolones, metro and the ethambutol, and the anti-metabolite action sulfonamide, sulfones and thiomethapryl. So all these are just a broad idea of what are the mechanisms of action. So just have the broad idea of it, that's enough. Next, the uses of penicillin. This is a mnemonic, that is last man. Okay, so many times they have asked syphilis, they have asked tetanus, they have also asked meningococcal meningitis. So these are the various uses of penicillins. So just the mnemonic is quite important and note it out. So this is a chart, you have already gone through it. Okay, so the classification anyways you are very well aware of it. So the main important is the syphilis, what is the dose? Okay, 2.4 million units IM. Okay, and the other importance like the neutropenia caused by nafcillin, okay, and 1 gram is equal to 1.6 million units, and the type B drug reactions occur with adverse drug reactions occur with penicillin because they are dose independent and unpredictable, and hypersensitivity, the type 1 occurs more with the penicillin. So already you are aware of it. So just go through the classification and the important points related to this. Adverse effects of penicillin, the very important is a Jarisch-Herxheimer reaction, and the other effects you can have a look. So just note this. So next, coming to the tetracyclines, so they bind to the 38 ribosomes at the A site, and group 1, group 2, group 3. Very important points are again given here. The uses of tetracyclines, the RBC in plasma. Okay, so they can ask rickettsia, they can ask relapsing fever. Okay, so RBC in plasma, and adverse effects is the Kapil Dev is the adverse effects. So kidney failure except doxycycline. So which tetracycline will not have the renal toxicity, then you have to go for doxycycline. Okay, so and which has has maximum photosensitivity, then it is demoxycycline, and which can cause maximum diabetic insipidus, it is again demoxycycline. Okay, so these are the important adverse effects. Okay, so expired drugs can cause Fanconi syndrome. Can maximal vestibular dysfunction is with the minocycline. Okay, so just have a look of this chart again. So kidneys is a Fanconi-Leigh syndrome which can occur because of the outdated tetracyclines, and we know it can chelate the calcium, so it can cause the damage to the teeth as well as for the bone. So that's the reason it's avoided in pregnancy. And infants can also develop intracranial hypertension causing the bulging of the anterior fontanelle. So this is regarding tetracyclines. Next, coming to the macrolides, so immunosuppressant macrolide being the tacrolimus, and the various macrolides erythromycin, roxithromycin, clarithromycin, telithro and azithromycin. So azithromycin is given as a single dose. Okay, so and it blocks 50S ribosomes. Okay, so that's the main thing, and it blocks the translocation of the peptide chain from A to P site. So mechanism of action quite important. Adverse effects, macro. So there is reversible toxicity with macrolides, whereas irreversible ototoxicity is with the aminoglycosides. Reversible ototoxicity is with the macrolides. Okay, and they are motilin receptor agonist. They cause allergy and also cholestasis, whereas uses are the claw. So many times they have asked the whooping cough, okay, or the pertussis, what is the drug of choice, and you have to go for a macrolide. And other uses are the atypical pneumonia and cancroid or Corynebacterium or Campylobacter. So just have a look of the mnemonics. Then coming to the aminoglycosides, the one which had been used systemically and the topical, so it is clearly given here. So the drugs again quite important, the lines which I have underlined here, just have a look. So streptomycin, we know it's the first line of drug for treatment of tuberculosis, plague and tularemia. Okay, so neomycin can be used orally for gut sterilization in hepatic encephalopathy. So where all I felt to be important I have underlined, but rest all the points also just give a look. Next, coming to the sulfonamides, so they block this, inhibit the folic acid synthetase or synthase enzyme. Okay, so sulfonamides again short acting, intermediate and long acting. Okay, so in eye infections sulfacetamide is being given. Okay, it is not effective in pus, very important due to the PABA, and crystalluria is very important, and the adverse effects. Okay, so ABC rash is a plastic anemia, kernicterus, crystalluria, rash, acetylation, SLA and hemolysis in G6PD deficiency. All these are the important adverse effects related to the sulfonamides, and very important for the mechanism of action is it causes competitive inhibition. Okay, so there is a competitive inhibition of the folate synthase. Next, cotrimoxazole. Okay, so it is a combination of thiomethaprim and sulfamethoxazole. Okay, so here is the action of the thiomethaprim. Since there is a complete folic acid like affected, so it causes folate deficiency that can lead to megaloblastic anemia again. Okay, so that's the reason we have to give folic acid supplements when cotrimoxazole is being given. So these are the various indications. So it is Septran, STDs, enteritis, PCPs and typhoid, RTI, UTI, so respiratory tract, urinary tract and nocardia. So all these are the indications of the cotrimoxazole. Next, fluoroquinolones, very many times I have asked the mechanism of action, quite important, that is it inhibits the DNA gyrase enzyme which is actually required for the replication and transcription. Okay, so adverse reactions, phototoxicity is there, GI effects are there, CNS effects are there. Okay, and tendon damage. So very important is the tendon damage. So almost many side effects are there, but tendon damage is more frequently asked. So hepatotoxicity, cardiovascular toxicity, everything is there, but remember the tendon damage and phototoxicity. Okay, next is the chloramphenicol. So very importantly, it causes the grey baby syndrome and it causes reversible bone marrow suppression and irreversible myelosuppression. Okay, so very important, the grey baby syndrome. So here if you see buy at 30 and sell at 50. Okay, so tetracyclines and aminoglycosides at 30 as ribosomes, whereas the others sell at 50 as 58 ribosomes. So septogramins, erythromycin, linozelid, zelid and clindamycin or chloramphenicol at 50 as ribosomes. So this is a mnemonic, you can just remember. Next, pseudomembranous colitis, very frequently asked. So what is it exactly caused by and what are the major risk? It is with clindamycin is with major risk. Common organism is a Clostridium and drug of choice is metronidazole followed by vancomycin. So do remember this. Next is cephalosporins. So very importantly is the generations and the mnemonics for the generations, I think you have your own mnemonics for this. So just if you see here, the second generation, it has the mnemonic like a fox, so and fur, so cefuroxime and cefoxytinin are the parental, and cefaclo, cefprozil is the second generation. So you have your own mnemonics, I guess. So just have that idea, but for if you didn't make any mnemonic, you can just have a look of this. And this is being the third generation. Okay, so these have some good blood brain barrier permeability and thus used in meningitis. So this is the fourth and the fifth generation. Okay, so fourth is for the Enterobacterium, fifth is for the MRSA. Okay, so roles, all the roles and the is with the fifth generation, whereas prime is with the fourth generation, PIME or POM. Okay, so just have this, you will have an idea, have a look to it. So recently in your INICT, I think you have got a question regarding the MRSA, the drug of choice in MRSA, then you have to go for vancomycin, and also it can be used in severe cases of pseudomembranous colitis. So adverse effect being the red man syndrome. So when given as an injection, then it can cause a red man syndrome. So this is very important related to vancomycin. So the drugs that are contraindicated in renal disease and which require dose reduction in renal failure are given in a tabulated form here. So do have a look. And penicillins and rifampicin do not require any dose adjustment in the renal disease. So quite important, note it out. And what are the bacteriostatic and what are the bactericidal, and again based on the mechanism, it's pretty clearly given here. So just have a look and try to grab it. Okay. Then what are the various ototoxic drugs? So these are the deafness is the mnemonic for that. So drugs causing deafness are all the drugs like the ethacrynic acid, aminoglycosides, furosemide, okay, nitro, which is a diuretic, okay, nitrogen mustards, erythromycin, salicylate, smoking, okay, all this, just have a look. Next, Pseudomonas. So just these are the drugs, and what are the anti-pseudomonal cephalosporins, and cephalosporin active against anaerobic bacteria. So this is again a chart related to it. So the very important again related to the antibiotics is the prophylaxis. Okay, so where we do give the prophylaxis, right? So infective endocarditis prophylaxis. So just have the look of each and every dose of the drugs that is mentioned here, both in adults and both in children, both oral route as well as the parenteral route. So just note it down. It's little memory based, but yes, it's quite important. Okay, so we are done with the major antibiotics. Next is the anti-cancer drugs. So anti-cancer drugs again classified as given here. So drugs acting directly on the cells or cytotoxic, altering the hormones and monoclonal antibodies. So I think you are aware of it. So the main drugs come under this. Okay, so first being the antimetabolites and all that, we will be discussing that further. So which are the cell cycle specific and cell cycle non-specific agents. So again clearly given here. So note them down as well. So antimetabolites are these, that is the folic acid related methotrexate, purine analogs, that is mercaptopurine and 6-thioguanine, and pyrimidine, flyfluorouracil, cytarabine and capecitabine. So flyfluorouracil, capecitabine and doxorubicin causes this hand and foot syndrome. Many times they have asked. And what are the uses of methotrexate, the drug of choice in choriocarcinoma? So they inhibit the cancer and immunosuppressant for Crohn's disease, for the abortion, for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, for choriocarcinoma, for ectopic pregnancy as well as rheumatoid arthritis. Many times they have asked related to rheumatoid arthritis. So do note the uses of methotrexate, very very important. Okay. Next, alkylating agents, clearly given all the drugs, nitrogen mustards, ethylamines, ethylamines, alkyl sulfonates and nitrosoureas. Okay, so nitrosoureas causes this neutropenia. So carmustine causes neutropenia, they can ask like that. Okay, so cyclophosphamide is a drug of choice in Regner's granulomatosis, and side effects, the bone marrow suppression. So note is the Mesna, okay, where it can be administered concomitantly with cyclophosphamide or ifosfamide to limit the hemorrhagic cystitis, right. So next the platinum compounds. So that mainly it why is it important is cisplatin, amifostine for cisplatin induced nephrotoxicity and also reducing the radiation induced xerostomia. So, cisplatin when it is given, it is nephrotoxic. So, amifostine can be given as a protector. It not only is for radiation induced xerostomia, but also for cisplatin induced nephrotoxicity. So, that is the reason this is quite important. Next, the vinca alkaloids. So, these are the mitotic, they act at the mitotic phase, which includes the vinblastine and the vinblastine, and taxanes, very importantly the peripheral neuropathy. Okay, so the Stoke and SOX neuropathy, they can ask like that, so you can just note it down. So even they stabilize the microtubules. Okay, so paclitaxel and docetaxel, many times they have asked. Next, anti-tumor antibiotics. So very importantly, they can cause radiation recall reaction, they are cardiotoxic. Okay, so mechanism of action, just have a look. So doxorubicin and daunorubicin. So next, bleomycin, they cause skin toxicity, so erythema, thickening and hyperpigmentation. Okay, and also they can cause scleroderma, right. So this is regarding the important classification and the important points. So the next, the marrow sparing cytotoxic drugs, many times I have asked. So vincristine, bleomycin and L-asparginase are the marrow sparing cytotoxic drugs. Okay. So next, the monoclonal antibodies being the rituximab. So very useful is the uses of the rituximab, the rheumatoid arthritis, the lupus, idiopathic thrombocytopenia, autoimmune hemolytic anemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and chronic lymphocytic leukemia. So rituximab uses are quite important, note them out. And very important is the regimens for Hodgkin's lymphoma, the ABVD and R-CHOP. Okay, so which is for this is for the B cell lymphoma, that is subtype of the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So chemotherapy, I mean the regimens. Okay, so ABVD for Hodgkin's and R-CHOP for the non-Hodgkin's, that is for the B cell lymphoma. Many times they have asked, they can ask you to pick out the drugs which are used for the regimens. So just note them out. Okay, very important, I insist, just note this. Okay. Next, coming to the anti-TB drugs. So first line and the second line drugs, so isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide and ethambutol. So isoniazid, though it is I, but it is given as H. So HRZD is a regimen. Okay, and streptomycin again. So these come under the first line and these are the second line drugs. Okay, so isoniazid causes peripheral neuritis, so pyridoxine has to be given. Okay, and it inhibits the ketoanenyl reductase, which is actually required and essential component for mycolic acid synthesis, which is again essential component of the cell wall. So it is hepatotoxic and cause hemolysis in G6PD deficient patients. So next, rifampicin. So orange color discoloration of urine, I think you know, and it inhibits DNA dependent RNA polymerase, and apart from tuberculosis, it is also used for leprosy and it can be used as a prophylactic drug for meningococcal and staphylococcal carrier states, and it is a least toxic anti-TB drug and safe in pregnancy. So all the points which are posted here quite important related to rifampicin. Okay. Next, ethambutol, it is bacteriostatic. Okay, so it is bacteriostatic agent, bacteriostatic. Okay, so ethambutol is bacteriostatic, underline, and this is related to reduced visual acuity, so related to eyes, and also it can cause hyperuricemia and peripheral neuritis, but very important is the optic neuritis which presents with the reduced visual activity and bacteriostatic. So these are the important points. And pyrazinamide, it is a weak bactericidal and it's effective only against intracellular mycobacterium and can cause hepatic dysfunction, porphyria and photosensitivity. Streptomycin, it is not hepatotoxic. Okay, it is not absorbed orally and must be administered by IM injection, very important point again. Okay. So streptomycin is contraindicated in pregnancy because it is ototoxic, right? It is being an aminoglycoside, so it is ototoxic. So it is not like given in pregnancy, whereas rifampicin can be given, and other aminoglycosides that can be given are amikacin, kanamycin, capreomycin, but streptomycin being the first line. Okay, so these are the various drugs, anti-TB drugs, so tuberculosis and the treatment, the regimens. So just have a look. Many times they can ask this. They have asked also in the medical field. They have asked, but they can ask for in the dental NEET as well. So note the regimens that is clearly given here. Okay, so if you see the drugs, that is H for isoniazid and all that. So just have a look of what are the drugs and just have a idea of this. Okay, so atypical mycobacterium infections. Okay, so these are the important points. Just have a look. So treatment of Mycobacterium avium complex, the regimen. Okay, so just have a look. Very, very important. So all the things that I have posted here is again a revision for you, and you can get through many new points as well. Don't worry. Okay, if you get some new points, you can answer in the exam. It's like a revision, so it will be like a quick thing and a quick glance. So nothing to worry. So again, all the important points are listed out here. That is ethambutol and streptomycin doesn't or do not cross the BBB. Okay, ethambutol and streptomycin are not hepatotoxic among the first line. Ethambutol and pyrazinamide cause hyperuricemia. Rifampicin safest in renal failure. Streptomycin contraindicated in pregnancy. So these are the important points related to the anti-TB drugs. Next, anti-leprosy, which are the multibacillary and the paucibacillary. Note them out. So multibacillary include the dapsone. Many times I have asked. Okay, and even the paucibacillary dapsone can be given. Okay, so multibacillary, there are one extra drug, that is the clofazimine. Okay, so what is the regimen? You just have a look. Okay, antifungal. So antifungal, this picture clearly shows the drugs and where they exactly act or the action. Okay, so like where the blockage of azoles. Okay, this reaction is blocked by flucytosine. Okay, the microtubules disrupted by the griseofulvin, and polyenes forms the artificial pores. So all this is clearly given in this picture. So just have a look, and this is again based on the mechanism of action. You can just have a look. I think you know this. So which alters the permeability includes azoles, right? And again that is classified as triazoles, imidazoles and polyenes, and which block the nucleic acid synthesis is flucytosine, which disrupts the microtubule is the griseofulvin, and which inhibits the cell wall synthesis includes the capsofungin. Okay, so the drugs again important. So fluconazole for cryptococcus, amphotericin B for cryptococcal meningitis. Okay, so just have a look of all this. The important points have been given here. Okay, very, very important points. So the side effects also, like amphotericin is nephrotoxic, it can cause hypokalemia, hypomagnesemia, anemia. So just have a look. So again the important points related to each drug is clearly given here. So amphotericin B, okay, so means what are the drug interactions and all that. So rifampicin and minocycline potentiate the action. Griseofulvin reduces the efficacy of oral contraceptives, very important, and it is intolerance to alcohol. Okay, ketoconazole, okay, the H2 blockers, PPIs and antacids decrease oral absorption. Okay, so like this, very importantly the drug interactions are given, note them out. Antiviral, again if you see, these are the mechanisms of actions respectively. So just the uncoating, which are what all are the drugs. Okay, nucleic acid synthesis, what are the drugs. Protease inhibitors, especially in HIV, what are the drugs. Okay, next block neuraminidase inhibitors. Okay, so all these are quite important. So drugs acting on the viral replication steps clearly given here. So just have a look of that. So uncoating, the transcription, the translation, the assembly as well as the budding and release. So have a look. Okay, so next the indications of various drugs. So cytomegalovirus, they have asked the ganciclovir. Okay, once they have asked, and acyclovir for the HSV obviously, and fosadnet for the again the cytomegalovirus retinitis. Okay, influenza, amantadine and rimatidine. Okay, and interferons for the hepatitis, genital warts and the Kaposis sarcoma. So all these are quite important, have a look. So again the important points. So drug of choice for encephalitis of the HSV is acyclovir. Valcyclovir has a long life and gets converted to acyclovir by hepatic metabolism. Famiciclovir is a prodrug and gets converted to penciclovir. So which of the following is a viral drug as a pro-drug, then you have to go for famcliciclovir. Okay, so gancliciclovir for CMV, including retinitis. So all this. So oseltamivir was given for the swine flu, very important. Okay, so just have a look of the important points given here. So next, the anti-HIV drugs. I think you are well aware of the metabolism or the mechanism of action, which is already clearly given in a video. So just have a idea of the classification of the drugs. So reverse transcriptase inhibitors, protease, entry and the integrase inhibitors. So very important is the classification and the regimens. Okay. So if there is a exposure to HIV, either a needle prick, then what comes under the post exposure prophylaxis, what is the basic regimen and what is expanded or the higher regimen. So it is zidovudin plus lamivudin, and if it is high, then you have to add a protease inhibitor, so within 72 hours. So very importantly, as per the dentist point of view, many times they have asked if the patient, or sorry, if a doctor has a needle prick and if the patient is found to be HIV positive, then what are the post exposure prophylaxis and what are the drugs that you want to give and within what time and what is the duration. So everything that is given in this table is quite important, so have a look. Next, anti-malarial agents. Okay, so this is a cycle of the malarial parasite cycle. So again the drugs. So the drugs, note it down. Okay, so quite importantly, so it's clearly given from your Sparsh Gupta. So where exactly the drugs act at the perierythrocytic zygogony or exoerythrocytic zygogony and male and female gametes. So what exactly, just have a look. And erythrocytic zygogony. So what are the drugs? So just have a look. And very importantly, chloroquine can result in blindness because of bull's eye maculopathy, very important point, and primaquine is contraindicated in G6PD deficiency, and these are the again mnemonic for that. So red lip Mahatma Gandhi. So just have a look. The rheumatoid arthritis, extraintestinal amoebiasis, DLA, lepra reaction, infectious mononucleosis, photogenic reactions, malaria and giardiasis. So besides that, chloroquine is also tried in COVID-19 patients, right, but more to be more precise, hydroxychloroquine is being tried in patients with COVID-19. Okay, so though it's anti-malarial, it has its own effects, so that's the reason it is being used in hospitalized patients with who is suffering from the COVID-19. So, okay, so you can add even one of the uses of the chloroquine, more precisely hydroxychloroquine. Okay, so hydroxychloroquine is being used with the COVID-19. So next, the metronidazole, the drug of choice for. So many times questions can be asked. So just remember, Gupta is a mnemonic. So have a look of this as well. So amoebiasis, anyways we know, and pseudomembranous colitis we have discussed. So metronidazole followed by vancomycin. So besides that, trichomoniasis, peptic ulcers in combination with H. pylori, therapy for H. pylori. Okay, so H. pylori we can use as a combination therapy for which is caused by H. pylori, the peptic ulcer and giardiasis. So these are the important uses for metronidazole. So this is a quick glimpse or a quick glance to the all the antibiotics and on the antimicrobial drugs and also the anti-cancer drugs. So main thing is, what I feel is, you have to have a good knowledge of the classification first, followed by little knowledge of the mechanism of action, followed by that the main adverse reactions and the main uses. Okay, that's it. Thank you.